We're all somewhat in love, or at least proud of the products and services that we take to market. And we can all tell good stories about why that product or service is fantastic. A couple of challenges with that. Firstly, what if the buyers that you're communicating with aren't really looking for a solution like that just right now? So certainly, to deal with that first issue, certainly we need to create messages that talk about the challenges and the needs that the buyers have to stimulate that so we can create opportunities. The second problem is that quite often our messaging is kind of me too. So we really need messages that create opportunity that only you can win. And that's what I'll show you how to do on this blog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fairly traditional approach and then I'm going to change it a little bit. I'll take a look at the products and services that we take to market and then I'll work out what the messages should be around that. But I'll abstract it a bit because, as I argued in the intro, we really need to create opportunity, not just seize on existing opportunity. So I'm going to take it from solution and the great attributes of that solution. I'm going to go to what does a buyer need for which that solution would be a great answer. And then why? What challenges are they facing that gives rise to that need? And who are they anyway? We'll look at the situation that gives rise to the challenges, that gives rise to the need, makes the solution attractive. So we'll kind of go backwards from our solution to build a compelling market message. But then we're going to do the same thing for our competition. Not where are they bad, where are they good? We'll build a really positive view about the competition so that the messages that we build are only compelling for us and not compelling, or if they resonate, they don't really strike a chord, they don't create opportunity for our competitors. And that's what we're going to do right now. So here's an example here, and this is going to sound horribly self-serving, forgive me for this, but I'm going to use one of our own products because I can talk to the story of that product well. The product I'll use on this occasion is Funnel Plan, which we often talk about at the end of the blog. Could have spoken about Funnel Academy, Funnel Camp, Funnel Mastery, but I'm not going to. Let's focus just on the Funnel Plan. Why is it good? And you can do this for any product. Why is the product or service good? Let's talk about Funnel Plan. Well, it validates your strategy, but before it does that, it really looks at what are the hardcore objectives that you need to hit to make your revenue numbers. Then it helps you validate the strategy. Then it works out how many buyers need to move through each stage in the journey. Helps you select tactics that can achieve that kind of progression. It builds the sales and the marketing tactics together, and it does all of that on a single page. The process that it uses to do all that bakes in global best practice. So that's a product pitch, and you can do that for your own products and services. We're all good at that to an extent already. But let's take a look at what is it that a buyer would need for which that solution would be found to be attractive. Well, of course we want it to be a go-to-market plan. So you need a go-to-market plan and you need it to cover both sales and marketing. That's evident. But you probably need it to be based on global best practice, and you need it to be accessible or affordable from both a time and a cost perspective. If you have that need, then you're going to find Funnel Plan attractive. Later on, when we look at the competitors stack, you'll see that that's different. We have a different need for the competitor stack. So stick with me on Funnel Plan. You need a B2B go-to-market plan for complex sales and marketing, and you need it to be based on best practice, and you need it to be done quickly and cost-effectively. Why? What kind of problems would give rise to such a need? Well, clearly we lack alignment, we lack a clear process, but particularly, and forgive me, I'm going to refer to my notes here because I want to get this wording of this just right. We lack a clear process for earning new business that we can understand and follow. So keys to that: new business. We lack a clear process for new business, and I'm really emphasising process there, not plan. You'll see why later. We lack a clear process for new business that we can understand and follow. When I contrast that with the problem that our competitor solves, you'll see the contrast. Now, what's the situation that would give rise to such a problem? Well, certainly you're in complex B2B sales and marketing, because if you're not, then you're not going to find funnel plan attractive at all. But there's some important characteristics that come out from that gap and that need that turn out to be quite important. You don't just need one plan. So you're in a business that either you're a little business, and I'll come back to, I'm actually not going to use the small business example, but you could be a small business, and therefore you need affordable. But it could also be that you're a large business, and what you need is lots of plans, each of them based on best practice. So maybe you're a vendor and you sell through partners and you need your partners to build great processes. Or maybe you're just a complex business and you've got lots of component parts. They could be lots of divisions or lots of products or lots of geographies, lots of markets that you serve. There's lots of bits, and each of the bits needs to have a great process. Again, later I'm going to contrast that with our competitor stack. So therefore, if I only thought about our own business and our own ideal target market, I could build a compelling message that spoke to the strengths of funnel plan, mindful of that situation, and kind of troubles you a little bit about the fact that you lack a clear process that can be understood and followed. But as I argued earlier, we need to do better than that. We need to build a message that certainly creates opportunity for us, but fails to create opportunity for our competitor, and in fact defeats them before they start. Now, in a moment or two, I'm going to show you how to do that in Funnel Plan, and I'm going to invite you to share this blog. But before I do that, let me build the competitors stack, and I'll show you what kind of message you'd need to build that creates opportunity that only you can win. Okay, now let's do the same thing for our competitor. And the competitor I'm going to pick on this occasion is a smart consultant. There's millions of them around the world. So what are the really attractive features of the smart consultant that might be competing with our funnel plan? Well, they're probably deeply immersed in your industry. They understand your industry really well, and that's a real asset. And they've got their own experience to draw from. They certainly need to be expert in B2B sales and marketing. So that's the attractive components or the attractive elements of our competitors' offering. Smart, they can work with you, they have knowledge and experience to draw from. Now, what need would you have that would give rise to, or that would make such an offer really attractive? Well, clearly you need a go-to-market plan, again, like we did before. So we need a go-to-market plan for both sales and for marketing. And we need it to just work. It's got to be a perfect plan. We need the best plan that we can get. And if you need the best one plan that you can get, you're probably going to find the consultant's offering more attractive than the funnel plan semi-DIY solution. Why? What gap or challenge would give rise to such a need that doesn't give rise to a funnel plan? Again, I'm going to have to refer to my notes. Forgive me. I want to get this just right. We lack a clear strategy and plan. Note I'm adding in strategy there. We lack a clear strategy and plan for earning new business that we can believe. That's the problem. Now, what kind of company would have that gap? Or under what situation, what are the circumstances that would give rise to that gap? Well, you're probably, again, you could be a large business, but you're probably only a large business if you're a kind of homogenous large business. That is, there's one core thing that you do or core market that you serve that you just need to get right. That's your situation. Unlike before, we had lots of component parts, either partners or products or markets or geographies. So kind of homogenous, one big thing. Maybe you're a medium-sized business as well. You're certainly not a small business because you can't afford that smart consultant. So you're either a medium business or you're a large but largely homogenous single entity kind of business. That's who you are. Let me just on the screen here stack up the high points of the differences between the situation, then the gap, then the need, and finally the solution attributes. And you can see from that that what we really need to do is to build a message that creates opportunity that only we can win, drawing on our strengths and either avoiding the competitors' strengths or even attacking them. Let's have a go at that. Let's build a message that wins for only us. So to build this message, I argued that for Funnel Plan we could be targeting small businesses that can't afford perhaps the consultant, but I'm not going to target them because I think they're different enough that we need our own messaging for the small business. So I'll target the larger businesses that either have multiple partners that they're trying to enable with go-to-market planning expertise, or they have multiple component parts, so lots of divisions, lots of products, lots of geographies, etc. So let's now build the message that wins. And I'm going to go somewhat verbatim here. If time and budgets were unlimited, every time you had to build a plan, you'd hire the best B2B expert in town. Someone who is deeply immersed in your market and a guru at go-to-market planning for complex B2B. Maybe if you only had one plan, that would be perfect. But you don't. You've got tens or hundreds of plans to build for yourself or for your partners. So how do you build hundreds of plans and still bake in absolute best practice into every one? Well, that's where Funnel Plan comes in. It's your very own super affordable online B2B guru that leads every one of your plan owners through absolute best practice to validate their strategy, identify the sales and marketing velocity they need to meet their revenue goals, and find the best fit tactics to create and capture new demand. And best yet, Funnel Plan boils the objectives, strategy, velocity and tactics down to a compelling and ultra clear one-page plan. So see what we did there? We created demand, we created an opportunity that the consultant simply can't win with. So what I'm really arguing is, I guess, two things. Firstly, when you build your messaging, get a little earlier in the journey than product attributes. Certainly you need to know why your product or service is great, but I bet you already do. But let's work out why they even need to be talking to you. Let's talk about their situation and the challenges they face, what they need, and therefore the salient attributes of the product. That's point one. Point two, do the same thing for your competitor so that messages that you build work only for your product and they only create opportunities that only you can win. So let's take a look at that in the funnel plan. Now, this week, the consequences of what we've just done doesn't really play its hand strongly in the funnel plan itself. It's more in the content that you create afterwards. But it does play a hand. So let's take a look at the problems that we've chosen. Certainly, the problem articulation needs to reflect the problem that we chose for this plan. Remember? So we had lack a clear process for earning new business that we can understand and follow. So that's the problem that we've chosen. But you recall that I also talked about the circumstance, which actually leads to the segmentation. That means that our ideal client profile is going to need to change, because our ideal client now is one that has the sort of challenges that we can meet that our competitors can't meet. So let's go back to that. Our situation was that certainly complex B2B, they've got limited time, funds, but the market really is large businesses trying to build multiple plans, either for their partners or for themselves. So let's reflect that in the ideal client profile and in the target markets. Now, who is it that actually has that problem? It's probably in the larger businesses, if there is a central planning head, but that really rarely exists. So I'm going to go and put into the funnel plan head of sales for large complex businesses, head of marketing for large complex businesses. They're probably my two ideal targets.
Well, if you enjoyed this blog, then make sure you subscribed to get either our blog, Funnel Vision comes out twice a week, or Funnel Vision Monthly, which is an editor's grab of the best articles from the previous month. Go to mathmarketing.com/blog and select one of those options now. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel to get updates. If you'd like to see if Math Marketing's go-to-market planning workshops, known as Funnel Camp and Funnel Mastery Workshop, would help you to lift the performance of your sales and marketing systems, why not speak to your funnel coach today? Contact details are on the website.
I'll show you how to build a content plan for building lots of content next week. But for now, may your funnel be full and always flowing.